Hey, hi, and hello there, lovies. Woo woo. Welcome back. Welcome back, y'all, to Talks with Her. Now, how y'all doing? I hope you are having the day of days, okay? I hope your day is so damn amazing and fabulous that you just beside yourself. Like you just are glowing and growing, that your freedom and your voice is like, honey, it is just everywhere, all up and through your life. Okay? That is my hope. Now, if you ain't there yet, don't trip. We gonna get there. Okay? We gonna get there. Don't trip. Sometimes the day be daying. And I get it. The day be daying for me too. Don't think just because I'm on here with y'all, I'm not a person too. I am absolutely a person. And it's so funny. I'll share a quick little story time with you, right? I was I was knee deep in trying to get these businesses off of the ground. I was kind of struggling a bit with my positioning, what I wanted to say, because I was scared to be myself. My confidence was not restored yet. So everything felt very like fake and disingenuous. All the content, the service offerings, everything about what I was doing just felt so fake for so long, because I was really suffering and going through a breakdown of sorts. But I looked normal on the outside. So those that knew me or that were close to me or whatever, they were kind of like, not really very present. Let's just put it like that, right? But so I got a call from a loved one when I was very much at the beginning of kind of this isolation period. And he said, I had a dream about you. I was like, me? What? Tell me more, right? And he said, no, this was not a good dream. I had a dream that I was sitting here smoking a blunt, and the devil himself came and sat down at the table with me and said that he was getting ready to just attack you in the worst way. Like, he said that he had his claws in your life and he was going to do everything that he could to destroy you. And that unraveled me, y'all. I'm not even going to lie. Like, that unraveled me, because I was like, what? Why would someone close to me, who is not lying, by the way, why would he, like, what? If there were so many things going through my mind, why would he tell me that? But then I'm thankful to God that he did tell me that. And I was like, wow, the devil let him know what he was going to do. And then it dawned on me that what the devil was trying to use as sort of like a tactic, like a warning, like he was trying to put fear in me, because I think that he had placed some fear in my loved one, and that's why my loved one was telling me that, right? But ultimately, it didn't resonate with me as fear. Watch this here. Ultimately, it resonated with me as excitement, because I knew that God was in the midst. I knew no matter how this swung, that some kind of way God allowed that, because he was preparing me. Whew. Woo! And listen here. The transition, just to be able to get to a point where that was where my mind went, instead of my mind going, oh my God, why me? Woe is me. That was the development. That was the grace. That was the voice. That was the peace. That was the things. That was like a culmination of all of the things that I be talking to y'all about. See, this is the good stuff, right? It doesn't go to say that those attacks are not gonna happen, and it doesn't go to say that things are not gonna be difficult, but it does go to say, it goes to say that we could be in such a bad place, not realizing that God done already went before us and prepared it in such a way that it's gonna work out for our good. So I wanted to share that quick little story time with y'all because it's important for you to understand that, hey, we all have something. We all have something. And we're just trying to muster through this thing. That's why it's important to lock arms, to walk and talk together. You feel me? Okay, y'all picking up what I'm putting down? So, now that we have gotten through that, let's talk about what we're here for. Okay, we are here today because of good old daddy. Yes, that's right. Dad, daddy, papa, pops, pop. What poppy, whatever you call the man in your life that is responsible for you having your life. Remember last time we were here because of mama and her trauma. And we talked through mama and her trauma. Well, now it's daddy's turn. You know, personally, I think this is just me talking, right? This is just me talking. Personally, I think dads get a bad rap, okay? Dads are required to do these Herculean things. And the truth of the matter is, sometimes dads are not so Herculean. Right? He's like required to do all this Superman shit, and he's not Superman. And then we're all left, us, the children, the mama, the community, strangers, everybody's like, well, he failed as a father. But the truth of the matter is that he didn't necessarily fail as the father. He wasn't ever equipped for the race. So, right? So let's actually get into that because that's very important for us to dissect. So, here you are. You are just little old beautiful, perfectly selfed you. And you got problems with dad. He's just not what you need him to be. He's just not where you need him to be. He's not how you need him to be. He's left you feeling a void inside. You feel empty. You feel empty. There is a hole. There is a hole where dad's love and protection and provision for you as a girl should be. And down throughout time, you all have struggled to fill the hole. And namely, you've struggled to fill the hole. Because perhaps at some point, you just gave up on him assisting in filling the hole. First of all, I want to give you space. I want to recognize you. I want to make sure you understand that someone sees you. Someone feels the pain that you feel, because that's painful. That's painful. When you are a girl and you just want dad's validation, you want his protection, you want his provision, you want him to provide, for you, not just monetarily, but emotionally. You want him to understand you, to kind of foresee what your needs are and meet them. Because as children, isn't that what we all want? Think about it. If you're a mother and your baby's playing on the playground, this used to happen to me all the time. He's out there playing on the playground, then he falls, boom. And you're kind of watching it in real time, right? And you don't want to react too quickly because that's going to make him just fall out with all the dramatics. But you don't want to react too slowly either, because then he will feel not loved. So you have to learn the art of waiting for his reaction. Well, just as babies do, he senses that, hey, that hurt. And then he starts the wailing. And when he starts that wailing, he immediately turns around and does what? Looks for you. And here he comes running, he or she. Here they come running with their little hands up, tears in their eyes, wanting you to make it better. Now, no child runs up to their parents at 1 or 2 years old and says, okay, now listen, lady, this hurts. I need you to fix this. You need to take me over to the pharmacy, get me some peroxide, okay? I'm going to need, a 3-point stitch suture. They don't give you no rundown. No kid can give you a rundown for exactly what they need, but they do innately know to look for you when they're hurting. And the same way they know that, you knew that. You knew to look for dad when you were hurting. And for whatever reason, when you were that baby and you turned around with whatever proverbial life situation was happening, with tears in your eyes and your hands up, you did not find dad. I want to give you space for that, because that hurts. And there is no amount of success, sex, or sexual prowess. There's no amount of validation from external surfaces or sources that soothes that hurt. When dad is not where he is supposed to be in our lives as young baby girls, it affects the trajectory of our entire being. Now, let's bring it full circle here, because we often look at dad. Again, I said dad gets a bad rap because we often look at dad and say, well, dad wasn't where he was supposed to be. Well, let's look at dad for a minute. Let's take you out of it and let's look at dad as a person. Because news flash, I hate to break this to y'all, but it's true. Even I'm just finding this out myself. Dads are actually people too. They go through hurts, pains, depression, sadness, heartbreak, excitement, success, happiness, joy, failure. Dads are under a tremendous amount of pressure. And they often, the funny thing about dads is they often move around with all that pressure on them, unspoken. Like no one really pays attention to that. Like they don't have a secret man meeting and go, hey, bro, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, you suck as a father. Come on in here. All the rest of us suck too. And let's cry about it together. See, they normally lash out or they detach or, they try to stuff it down with other things, right? To run away from their shame and their pain or whatever they're feeling inside. And so then it gets looked at like, well, dad is a bad dad because fill in the blank, because he did this or because he has this issue. Not so much do we say, well, dad is not a bad dad because he's trying to. Dad has mental health issues because of what happened to him as a child. Whew. Park that right there. Right? Dad has mental health issues because his dad was abusive. Dad has mental health issues because he was bullied as a child. Because his mother was excessively forceful and aggressive. Because he was abandoned as a child. Because no one ever taught him how to deal with failure. Because no one ever taught him how to deal positively with adversity. See, again, I go back to the original statement. Dad is a person too. And so we don't get the things that we need from dad, and it hurts. Oh my God, it hurts. It hurts because it permeates in every single area of our lives. It permeates in how we work, right? As women, we either work too hard to prove that we got it because we never want to give another human being that vulnerability that we felt that dad took for granted. Or we don't work at all. We just give up on life because dad hurt us so bad that it shattered us and we just simply didn't know how to get up from there. But we missed the fact that dad was shattered. Dad had a tumultuous time trying to get it together. And sure, yeah, sure. Someone is going to send me an angry email because I do get those too, okay? I'll be seeing y'all. Now listen, anyway, someone is going to send me an angry email and say, well, Mo, you're wrong because nobody put no gun to his head and made him be a dad. No, he chose this. And so he should have never chose to have a child if he was going to be that way towards a child. Listen, you right. What, you thought I was going to argue with you? No, ma'am. No, sir. You right. You right. You're right. But I want to give you an alternative perspective here. Just because you're right in that dad chose to be a dad. He signed up for this. Did you ever maybe stop to think that he wasn't meaning to intentionally harm anyone? He signed up for this because he was trying to redeem. He was trying to redeem the wrongdoings that had been done to him. See, what we're not going to do is ever discredit what you have gone through and how you feel as a young woman. That's why every single time your pain is referenced, you'll notice a pause. Because you deserve to be seen. You deserve to know that someone understands your pain from a deep perspective. I see you damaging yourself. I see you overworking yourself. I see you extending yourself, trying to get validation that dad never provided. I see you. I see you. But the crazy thing about this situation, this dad situation, is that I see dad too. And maybe, just maybe, dad wasn't equipped to give you what you needed. Maybe he's still not. Here's the way that I want you to find that out. Now, y'all know what I'm going to say. You can go ahead and just say it right along with me. Ready? Okay, here we go. I want you to use your... Did you say voice? Okay, good. I'm so glad. See, we're doing so well. We're just learning around here and stuff. I want you to use your voice. You got to use your voice with dad too. Now, we used our voice with mom, and we were able to do so from a place of vulnerability and sadness. And that connected us with mom, because mom has the same hormones and the same, genetic factors that we do. So those points of vulnerability will connect us with mom. But I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. Using vulnerability and sadness likely ain't going to work with dad. So you got to use the voice in a bit of a different way with dad, because he can't always handle your vulnerability and sadness. See, much like mom, when he receives your vulnerability and your sadness, he's going to retreat. But the difference is, mom may retreat to vulnerability and sadness as well. Dad's going to retreat to shame. Because even though you're not saying the words, what he hears is, I failed. I failed. I didn't love her properly. I didn't protect her properly. I didn't provide for her properly. I failed. And not only did I fail as a father, I failed as a man. I failed. And so many dads suffer silently. So many dads are actually actively depressed. Yeah, he looked fine on the outside, but he's actually actively depressed because deep down inside he feels like he failed. So I want to encourage you of this. Here's a different way to use the voice so that dad doesn't automatically resort to shame. When you are readying yourself to speak with dad about the level of understanding and acceptance that you need, I want you to do this. Write it down first. I want you to sit down and I want you to write dad a letter. I know it sounds corny AF, okay? Don't bite my head off. Keep blocking and walking and talking with me, okay? Stick with me here. I want you to tell dad everything that you need to say in that letter. I remember writing a letter like that. It took me over a year to write one letter because I kept going back and revising it, rewriting it, balling it up, throwing it in the trash, going and getting another piece of paper, going back and getting that one out the trash, putting the two together. Listen now, that damn letter, okay, it took on a life form of its own. But it was helpful in that. Here's the secret to the letter, right? It helped me to get my emotions out. See, when you go in front of dad, much like when you go in front of husband, boyfriend, bae, boo, baby, whatever you call him, when you go in front of him with your raw emotions, you're crying, your lashes hanging half off your face, you're just hysterical. He immediately goes into a place. Now, what this place is, I don't know, because I ain't a man. We're going to have to ask them, okay? But it's a place. And when he gets there to that place, he don't really hear. He don't really hear you the way that you need him to hear you, because you're leading with emotion. It doesn't go to say that your emotions are wrong, because they are not. You are entitled to your emotions. That's why I want you to write them down. Your letter might turn into a journal, by the way. Okay? So just be prepared for that. Go on down to Walmart, wherever, Amazon, order you, whatever. It might turn into a book of journals. Listen now, it could get serious, okay? Real serious. But you got to do this. You got to write it down. Because trust me, it takes the emotion out of it. It takes the sting off of it. And that way, when you're ready to go to dad and talk to him about the understanding and the acceptance that you need, you can talk to him in a language that he understands. Because now you are being expressive. You are expressing your desires and your needs without the emotion, or at least without as much emotion. Does that make sense to y'all? I want to see y'all's comments and your DMs and your letters, and I want to know that this makes sense to y'all, okay? Because trust me, it works. Now, when you're talking to dad and you're sharing with him what your needs are in terms of understanding and acceptance, he's going to have some questions. And more so than that, he may not actually respond the way that you need him to. Now, listen, okay? I want to share this with you. Now, again, this don't just work on dad, okay? This work on husband, husband, bae, boo, baby, baby, daddy. It work on all the baes. Got it? But it works on dad first. Once you have given dad what your needs are in terms of understanding and acceptance, I need you to leave it alone. Do not probe him for a response. Do not, sit there and sort of passively, aggressively try to manifest a response out of him. Do not sit there and stare at him in angst. Don't do none of that. If you're physically present with him, thank him for his time. Part ways. Go take you a break. Go get you a breath. Okay? Leave that alone. If you are digitally present with him, same thing. Dad, thank you for hearing me out. I appreciate you. Okay, that's it. Let it alone. See, because the difference between men and women. Oh, and I'm gonna give y'all a spoiler alert. Let me finish this thought, and I'm gonna give y'all a spoiler alert. The difference between men and women is that men often need a moment to process what has been told to them. Whereas us as women, we can kind of rattle ours off. Like, what? Oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. Here's your response. Now, it doesn't make men different from us, but our brains are chemically, actually, actively different. And that's why he most often needs a moment to respond. Now, I told you I was going to give y'all a little spoiler alert, right? A little extra seasoning today. Now, listen, this also not only helps in communication with dad, but this also helps in communication in your dating life. If you're dating a man and you tell him or you're trying to communicate something with him and he just immediately is responsive, you need to cut that show. Okay? Because what he's showing you is that he has a characteristic to be immediately responsive, which means that he likes a rebuttal, which means that he was prepared for that rebuttal, which means that he may not necessarily be as masculine as you need him to be. Maybe not right now, maybe in the long run, okay? But listen here when I tell you, because I'm going to tell you what I know. An argumentative man ain't the man for you. Now, don't believe me, but believe me. Go argue with your mama, okay? I know what I'm saying. I digress. I digress. So, I want you to try that communication with dad, okay? And, I want you to tell me how it went. So, we're going to continue to walk and talk through this thing together. Now, the one thing that we do need to talk through, and I guess we'll talk about this our next time together, is, okay, Mo, I hear you, right? I need to express myself in a calm, poised manner. I need to be able to articulate what my needs are because I need understanding and acceptance from my parents, and I need to articulate how that looks to me. I hear you, Mo, but what do I do when my parents are perpetually, meaning relentlessly, meaning always, meaning all the damn time, toxic? Because what you talking about, Mo, only works for parents who aren't toxic, who actually want healthy communication. So, but I'm that girl that has perpetually toxic parents that don't want healthy communication. Like they just always on some bullshit. So what do I do with them? See, Mo, your theory don't work because my parents are always toxic. They always looking for the drama, looking for the fallout. They always watching for the hook. Oh, well, what I want to say to you, dear Lovey, is welcome to Talks with Her. And I'm Monique. Okay, and we are locking arms to walk and talk together. So the next time we're together, we're going to talk about what to do with those perpetually toxic parents that you can't use your voice with because they're perpetually toxic. So now what? Now, until then, well, you know I love you, but not as much as you should love yourselves. So go be smart, beautiful, confident, powerful, and strong. Until next time, lovies.